Hi, I'm James Lamont, fellow at the Vadine Center for Rural Economic Development at the University of Minnesota Crookston. Today we're going to talk about the drought of 22 and its impact on the world and subsequently agriculture. Climate change is contributing to more droughts and water shortages, as well as more flash flood events or major flood events like we saw in Pakistan. Basically, extreme weather is the new norm. According to a UN report this week, a drought frequency and duration has increased by over a third since 2000. Every forecast I've seen through 2050 continues to replicate this even higher. European harvest in 22 was 20% lower when compared to 2021. Europe experienced its hottest heat waves in its recorded history. Parts of Europe are undergoing their worst drought in 500 years. Italy is facing its worst drought in 70 years, and over 99% of Portugal is covered in drought. In the United States, roughly half of the states are currently experiencing some type of shortage of water. Africa is undergoing its worst drought in decades. Biggest concern now is, unlike the previous droughts of the 80s, 90s, and even 2000s, higher populations will naturally have a larger impact in terms of who is able to access food and livestock. It's especially difficult in Eastern Africa, most specifically the Horn, when you look at Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya. Sticking with East Africa, millions of people are at risk of starving and are being displaced, especially in Somalia and the eastern frontier counties of Kenya. They're entering their fifth year of a major drought, and even in the areas that aren't historically impacted by drought, animals such as zebras and elephants are actually leaving areas that were traditional for them in terms of their grazing and going into urban areas and are being killed by the government. The Chinese harvest is the worst on record. This particular year, half the nation of China was under some sort of drought, and some areas are actually experiencing power cuts as a result of a lack of hydropower. You're seeing that also in the southwestern United States and some of its major dams and rivers. South America is entering its second year of major drought, the La Niña effect, if you will. Brazil and Argentina are specifically hit hard, so you're seeing a reduction in soy, corn, and sugar production. And then just generically speaking around the globe, this naturally has further pressures on food, subsequently causing more inflationary effects, additional population pressures, and potentially more propensities for conflict. And unfortunately, geopolitically, it's not looking very well either. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week when we talk about the drought and its impact on domestic operations.